Hi, it's Dwyer. It's February 15th, 2025. GamblersAdvisory.com, a free site. BettingAngle.us, a free site. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Folks, this Keyshawn Davis, Denis Berinchyk fight, I was completely wrong on this fight. This was not the fight I was expecting. I made a pre-fight video for premium subscribers. The bet I was suggesting, and I couldn't believe how lucky I was the underdog, Denis Berinchyk, plus 500, hedged with the fight going the distance. Well, not only did the underdog get stopped, lose the fight, hit the canvas twice, multiple times. Not only did the underdog get stopped, but of course the fight didn't go the distance at all. This is a fight where I lost it all. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the reasoning. Let's talk about the ending. The ending is spectacular. It's actually worth looking at a few times. Not the knockdown punch that ends the fight. And understand, Berinchyk is on a knee and he decides not to get back up. He's that blown out. And of course, before he goes down, he's bleeding from the nose. In other words, he's been hit to the body and to the head. He's been dominated to the point where an unbeaten fighter in the fourth round decides to take the count and have the fight end. Losing his unbeaten streak. And understand, Berinchyk, 36 years old. In other words, this is a guy who's been around. This isn't a young guy, keeping his knee on the canvas like Daniel Dubois did against Joe Joyce. No, this is an old guy defending his WBO title, giving up an unbeaten streak, a title to a much younger guy in the fourth round, The sequence is breathtaking because Keyshawn Davis, who's better than advertised, blocks at least 4 or 5 shots before getting off the left hook to the body. That ends the show. It's actually pretty dramatic stuff. You see Berinchyk. Terence Crawford is in the building. Crawford apparently is yelling to Keyshawn not to let Berinchyk clinch. And of course, you see that Berinchyk is desperate. He's trying to land punches. Davis has them blocked. Then Davis, without allowing Berinchyk to clinch, keeps throwing punches and gets off the left hook to the body. And by the way, that's the second time in the fight that Berinchyk goes down off a left hook. Now let's talk about my thought process in getting this fight wrong. Understand, and I know it's preposterous now, but my analysis was that Berinchyk had the better legs. He's the shorter man. He's the better mover. I thought Davis was going to have a very hard time finding him. As a shorter man, too, I was not expecting Berinchyk to linger around the pocket long enough to get hit with body shots. I thought he was going to hover. I thought he was going to be right side, left side. He's also ambidextrous. I thought he was going to be giving a younger fighter. Keyshawn Davis is more than 10 years younger than Berinchyk. I thought he was going to be giving Keyshawn angles. I thought Keyshawn wasn't quite going to know, when Berinchyk was right-handed, when he was left-handed. I thought the whole thing was going to throw off Keyshawn. So I thought the fight was going to go several rounds. I thought Berinchyk had a shot at winning. But I would have been okay if the fight just went the distance and Keyshawn won the fight. right? Folks, you didn't even make it to the over here. Understand, it's puzzling. I'm a spectator. I don't quite know what Denis Berinchyk was thinking. I was wondering how Keyshawn was going to hit Berinchyk. Berinchyk, of course, decides he's going to try to fight the fight inside out. You know, from the pocket, backing away, as opposed to being outside, hiding, moving around the ring, then periodically coming into pocket. So, of course, he's up close to Keyshawn, and Keyshawn is so certain of what he's doing that if you look at the first knockdown, Berinchyk is in a southpaw stance. Right? This is a guy who could have been in a right-hand stance. No, he's in a southpaw stance. He has his right leg out in front of him. Right? Davis is so deep in the pocket that Davis's left leg is inside of Berinchyks' right leg. In other words, you can't get deeper in the pocket than Davis is for the first knockdown. And Davis, of course, throws a left hook to the body. Understand the danger in doing so. If Berinchyk, again, who's ambidextrous, was ready with his right hook up top, Davis would have been unprotected. But Davis has the sequence down. Berinchyk is the one confused. I know Ben Davison doesn't like the idea, the trainer, doesn't like the idea of fighters switching righty-lefty, lefty-righty. Here, it hurt Berinchyk greatly. Right? Berinchyks' feet are all confused. So Davis, of course, comes in, lands the picture-perfect left hook to the body, and drops Berinchyk. Right? So then, of course, very next round. That's in round 3. Very next round. One would have thought Berinchyk would have been moving away. One would have thought Berinchyk would have been mindful of that Davis left hook to the body that dropped him. But yet it happens again. Right? And understand, Berinchyk is so deep in the pocket that you have Crawford yelling out to Davis not to get clinched. In other words, it's clear Berinchyk is in the pocket trying to be rough and tumble, trying to make this a sloppy fight up close. And it's a little bit startling because, of course, Davis just beat Gus Lemos, who's rough and tumble in the pocket. And in that fight, Davis shows an ability to throw hooks, short hooks, deep in the pocket. So I was a bit surprised at Berinchyks' game plan. I don't understand how the shorter man is so close in the pocket that he's getting hit with body shots, where the other guy's foot is literally inside his foot, deep in the pocket. And I didn't understand how Berinchyk didn't make an adjustment between the third and fourth round. Right? You get hit with a left hook to the body and you have great legs. What are you doing close to the guy the very next round? Getting hit again with a left hook to the body that ends the fight. Right? Not only that, he throws a bunch of punches. That last knockdown really is special. Berinchyk throws a bunch of punches, and Davis is able to block them, and Berinchyk doesn't know how to pivot out of the pocket. You know, if you're in the pocket and you're throwing punches and the other guy's blocking them, you have to think to yourself, this is a danger zone. I'm here naked. In other words, I've thrown shots. The guy has blocked my shot. My hand's extended. I'm here close to him. I need to get out of here. Instead, Berinchyk gets hit with another body shot, and he understood. Right? He's lucid. This isn't the guy rolling around on the canvas. This is the guy on a knee. Right? He looks at the ref and he understood. Not my night. This guy's simply better than I am. Right? I'm badly hurt. Maybe the body shots took away his legs. Maybe that's why he's not outside hovering. Right? You're fighting a guy who's 10 years younger than you. I understand. Davis has been an Olympian, has a distinguished amateur career. Right? We understand all that. But you're fighting a young guy. Don't you want to take him into the deep water? It's for your title. The fight's 12 rounds. Don't you want to set this up where the young guy has to be patient? You're going to force the young guy past the 6th round. Have the young guy thinking to himself, wow, have I done enough to take the title? Wouldn't you want to stretch this fight out, especially since Davis is coming off an impressive stoppage of Gus Lemos? Right? I thought the pacing is off for Baranchyk. I thought the footwork was off for Baranchyk, which shocks me. Right? I thought Davis was allowed to get too close to him. Right? I just thought if Baranchyk is so obvious that people in the crowd are yelling, don't allow him to clinch. If it's obvious to even people ringside that Baranchyk is trying to clinch, then Baranchyk, to me, wasn't fighting the right fight. Davis is a special talent. I believe he's one of the best in boxing. Right? I know that Abdullah Mason said, I'm the next guy at 135. Right? Abdullah's going to be waiting several years because he, of course, got knocked down in a fight. Right? Was getting roughed up by some lesser-known fighter a couple fights ago. Just understand, you have Keyshawn Davis. He looks like he's about to go on a several-year run at 135. Right? Several-year run. We're here idolizing Gervonta Davis, who's 30, who, was talking about retirement, is leaving a lot on the table. It's the Baranchyks of the world who are fighting Navarrete. Right? No one's fighting Shakur Stevenson. Gervonta Davis is fighting a guy who was tough in the amateurs, but no one knows who he is. There was no outcry for him. Just understand, you have Keyshawn Davis here, several years younger than Gervonta Davis, right? I get the feeling Davis is going to pivot. He might fight Ryan Garcia. If he does, it's going to have to be outside of 135, right? Probably a catch weight, 143 or so. Keyshawn Davis has a unique opportunity here to rule the roost at 135 or to jump up to 140 and to cause damage there, right? This is a guy who, it's interesting, he looks slender and tall for 135, but yet he clearly knows how to fight inside. And if you question his defense, all I ask is that you look at the last 5 punches in this fight that Baranchyk throws at him right before Davis lowers the boom with a left hook to the body, right? And just recognize that that's the second big left hook to the body that Davis is able to drop Baranchyk with, right? Davis doesn't even have to focus on Baranchyk's head. He's so adept in the pocket that he's able to block shots and take out the guy's body before the end of the 4th round. Very impressive stuff. Those are my thoughts. I was wrong on this fight. Again, I had Baranchyk plus 500 hedged with a minus 215 that the fight goes the distance. Right? The odds makers thought the fight was more likely than not to go the distance. Folks, we didn't even make it to the end of the 4th round. I'm astonished. Those are my thoughts. Let me hear yours in the comment section of this YouTube video. Thanks for stopping by.